Okay, we're going to do... I'm going to cough, aren't I? Cough. This, which is not Lego and not fake Lego. The interesting thing about this is that I didn't buy it from an op shop. I actually bought it brand new. It comes from Bunnings, which is an Australian hardware store that is also in New Zealand. I'm sure they sell it otherwise. It's not a Bunnings branded thing, but I did actually buy it brand new. So that's a bit of a change. And I bought it just recently, so maybe if I publish this video, it might actually be useful for people thinking of buying this air floating ball kit. Easy to build, no screws are needed. It's very specific. Could require a whole lot of other things. Might require welding or something. So where's my scissors gone? I just had those. My $1 pair of scissors from the op shop, which is probably a bit expensive for a pair of scissors like this. Because you can buy them in packs of 3 for like a couple of dollars from the $2 shop. So this is quite a nice pair of scissors, I think. It's IKEA. Oh my gosh, IKEA. Apparently, according to that, I don't know if it is. It says made in China. I don't know about IKEA because they haven't actually opened. They are going to open an IKEA store in Auckland, where I live. Just one more look at that. This is what we're going to make. We're going to make this thing. And we've got a ball. We can put that to the side. I think I bought a whole pile of balls. Not that exact size, but polystyrene balls for things. Air floating batteries. Just read for the instructions. Read all that. Read it fast. It's going like super fast. And there's some more stuff to read for your homework. And there's the final page. There's actually quite a few, but they only had 2 in the shop. And the ones that they had in the shop, I think they had the propeller car. And they had this one. I thought this would be more interesting. Build your own, so I'm a bit tired. Build your own tank model. That one looks actually kind of cool, but I've got these cool tank things to build. But I don't think I'll do them on this because I think they do require screws and soldering, which makes it a bit more intense. So let's start this off. That's a piece of cardboard if you haven't seen cardboard before. I think this is the starting bit, so I'm going to hold it like this, and then I'm going to push these up. And I'm going to push that bit up, and then I'm going to get the motor. There's no wires attached to the motor. They're only attached to this thing. So, no, I don't understand the picture at all. Oh, okay. It's not the most helpful picture, I don't think. But I think what they mean is use double-sided adhesive. Oh no, I get what they mean. Okay. It makes a little sense. Though they've got the wires. Oh, okay. It's fine. So double-sided adhesive strip. What I need to do, the very first thing. It doesn't tell you which. I feel like there's a slight problem with this. Is that they don't tell you. No, this is part number D. 2 wires. The wires are attached to the battery box. I don't. Okay. So the thing that I'm worried about is that you have to put these wires in the correct way, because what will happen is it will spin one way if you put the wires in one way, and it will spin the other if you swap them over. And this thing, I think, to work properly, needs to have them going the right way, because if it's spinning one way, it's going to suck air down, and if it's spinning the other way, it's going to blow air up. And so it doesn't seem to tell you. Yes, it doesn't tell you. So I think we kind of have to experiment, don't we? So the first thing we have to do is grab my handy pack of double batteries, which I've just got sitting over here. These are my last AA brand new batteries that I've got. Well, almost the last. I've got another one. But the important... Oh my gosh, did I do this terribly? I did do this terribly. That one goes there. The exciting thing I've been doing recently, I finally, after many years, started downloading, copying video recordings that I made on a mini DV camera that I bought back in the early 2000s. And so I've made quite a few tapes, and I haven't ever got around to copying them onto my computer and transferring them off and making backups and stuff. So I'm finally doing it. So that's like a big plus for me. So I think you just take it off the end. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I think I did this wrong. I think I should have left it on. Wow. I think I should have. So I'm just going to put the propeller on. I hope I can put it on before. Well, I don't think I can actually. Well, I think I can. Alright, we'll be fine. It will be fine. It will be fine. We'll just turn this thing on, and then we'll test it out by just holding the black and there. Alright, I gotta wait. So I think that's going that way. It's going anti-clockwise. And this way it doesn't go at all. What's happening? Oh my gosh. Oh wait. My hands all... Well, okay, I think it definitely goes black on this side to make it blow. I think that's going to make it blow upwards and not suck downwards. It feels like the other way was downwards. So I've actually just completely forgotten what I just said. So I'm pretty sure black goes on the left and right goes on the red. Because words are hard. Right for red, and there's an L in black, so that's how you can remember it. And left has an L in it. Don't go by T, because T is in right and not in... well, there's a T in left and right actually, so that's just forget the letter T. It's just like it doesn't matter about T's anymore. I feel like the thing I always get bugged about these little cheaper sets. I mean, this is probably just a rebadged or repackaged AliExpress set. Is that this whole, attaching it by just tying it on. Oh, I've got to turn it off. Whoops. Don't play and do the wires while it's turned on. This reminds me of my incident with my car where I think I mentioned this. I've always never bothered. I mean, I know you're supposed to attach the terminals to your car battery and unattach them in a specific order. But my previous car that I've spent many years driving, which had a very spacious inside because it was from the 80s, I never really put much effort into really caring because it didn't really matter because it just doesn't, just pick off whichever one was closest, which probably was the right one. Don't just disconnect the black one, the negative first, not the other way around, because then if you accidentally drop your spanner in a way that if you have your spanner and it accidentally touches the body of the car and you're touching the positive one, if you're taking the positive off first and you accidentally touch the body of the car, it doesn't go down too well. So now, but in this case, it's fine. Everything's fine. I just tested it works. I can't actually believe it. I mean, I honestly don't believe that. It shouldn't work. It just seems wrong that this thing works. Well, I'm just going to stick that. And we've got to put the tape on, don't we? That was the whole point of this. Do we have to cut this in half or something, or because it seems a bit excessive to have a whole? I'm going to cut it in half. Now I'm thinking of a cyanide and happiness cartoon. Alright. And there. So I guess we should just stick it on over the top. And then I feel like I should put them on both sides first. And then this is where it's going to get exciting. Yes, so I've been watching old videos of myself and my life and people that I have known, and so on, and it's quite amusing. I think I always, every time I watch anything I videoed in the past, the number one thing on my mind is I really should have filmed a lot more things in life, and I haven't really done enough. And it seems like you feel like, well, that's just because, you know, I'm an older person. We didn't have video cameras everywhere. But you know, nowadays it's cheap as chips, as they say, to videotape everything, and yet still I don't videotape everything when I should. It's just like you never learn. Alright, so now we're trying to do, I don't understand the next step. This one's supposed to fold, isn't it? I think this is supposed to fold. I think you have to hold it this way and fold it. I don't think you meant to fold it straight away. And then I got to get a piece of tape. Gosh, I do not understand at all what this is supposed to do. This is the instructions. I probably could keep the instructions on the... I'm trying to do this step. I don't actually know what happened here. I should just look at the... I mean, honestly, I should just look at the front of the box and just go from there. So there, I look quite different actually when I was in my early 20s than what I do. Which I know people are going, well, obviously you did. No, but I look like a different person. I look like not someone who's just a bit younger. In fact, I don't know why I would say I look younger. I just look like a different person. And okay, I don't know. I'm just going to put this over like that, and then I'm going to put that over like that. And somehow that's the... I don't think I should have unstickied it. Okay, it doesn't matter, it's fine. I'm just going to push it down as hard as I can. Okay, that's looking a bit rude. And these things fold over, apparently, and break. So that's the thing that has to happen. And then we're on the last bit, which is this bit. And it's not the last bit, there's still a fair bit of work to go on, I think, to get this completely correct. So that one goes up, this goes up. There's kind of like very faint fold lines, but it's like, I don't know how they made them, because they're not actually that intense. So, other sad news today is that the school that I work at got broken into over the holiday period, and some stuff was stolen, of which is some of my stuff, and it's my PlayStation 3. And this old TV, like, I feel like I'm a bit silly calling it an old TV, because, you know, be careful bending. Use double-sided adhesive strip. And we don't understand. I think, what the heck is going on? So, how much double-sided adhesive tape have I got? Well, I'm not going to use the double-sided adhesive. I'm going to use a single side, because I'm not going to do the mistake I just made a second ago, because there's no point, I don't think, yet. Yeah, anyway, so that was a bit sad. Apparently, I thought it was because the school hasn't gotten around to fixing there's a door at the back of the hall where they have, which is actually doesn't lock. It's like, well, they have an alarm and fancy keys, and then you're like, well, what's the point when you've got an actual door at the back where there isn't any alarm coverage, and it doesn't lock. You can't lock it. Like, you can shut the door, but it doesn't. You can't lock it in any way. So it's very easy to break into if you happen to know that door. You just have to push hard enough and it pops open. And I thought, oh, when I heard today, before I got into work, it was like, oh, that's what happened. It's that. So I feel like I should have pushed a bit harder, like, for them to fix that. Maybe they didn't realise. I'm pretty sure people at the school do realise. This is in the hall area. And, oh, but that didn't work. It's felled apart already. Maybe I should put some tape around it. I feel like I should just put some tape around it. I don't actually have any tape. Oh, I've got this tape. Well, I'll use this tape in a second if it happens that this is not going to work. So, oh, I had another. What did I do with it? It's over here. But it turns out that wasn't the problem. It was another group that uses the school hall outside of school hours. Apparently, just forgot to lock the front door and forgot to turn the alarm on. It's like, oh, you've got to be kidding. So that was a bit sad. But they didn't take my my Nintendo DS's. So, alright. So do I have to cut this as well? Or do I use the full thing? Well, I'm going to cut this one too. Is that going to work if I cut it? It might be too short. There's only one way to find out, and that's to just muck the whole thing up. Yeah, so they didn't take my Nintendo DS's, which probably would have been the smart thing to take because they're quite small and there was 4 of them and they all have like, memory SD card adapter things on them. And they're all set up to do everything, and so it's like, and they for some bizarre reason that would sell for, at least in New Zealand, like $60 or $70 at the current weird market prices. I mean, having said, I just bought another Nintendo DS for $30 something. So if you're lucky, you can get them a lot cheaper. But that's without the memory card thing. But the memory card things technically only cost like $15 or something, including postage from AliExpress. So anyway, we're not going to talk about that all day, or are we? We aren't. We're going to put this thing on. I feel like I'm being very skimpy with the tape here. Very skimpy. So there we go. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's the only time I actually need double-sided tape is here and on the back of the battery box. So we've made this thing, and I assume, alright, the battery box is just going to go there. I can hold off that shenanigans for a second, and then we're going to pop the bottom of this off. Not actually sure how this is supposed to stay in place. I think it's just going to, I really feel like it feels, nice that you have to use like self-adhesive tape, but surely they could have built this in such a way that things just clip together and that there were tabs, and that tabs go into slot, slot tab A goes into slot B and that kind of thing. Because it kind of seems like they've avoided it. Like they've built tabs and then they haven't built the slots to put them into. They just make them so it looks like a bit ruder and cheaper than it could be. So anyway, and we've got the last bit of tape which we're going to save and utilize for how much time? I've got 10 minutes left. That's not taking too long. Which side is, I have to have it this bottom side, where the screw is. Oh my gosh. Because I want to be able to access it. And if I put it on the top, which is the thing with these battery boxes, is it always feels like, because the top comes off like this, but this has got to be the bottom. But if you do that, if you do this as the top, then you can't reach the on and off switch. So I've had, a lot of experience with this kind of battery box. I happened to buy a whole bunch of them actually. Not this exact one. This one's a bit nicer than my ones, but they work exactly the same. And I got them super cheap. I got like, I don't know, 60 of them or something. Something ridiculous that I'll never run out of them. Right. And then we have to put the stickers on. Or we have to turn it on. And we have to put the ball in. And is it going to work? I have no... But it's not going up in the air, is it? Hold on. Maybe you have to... Maybe this is not a good enough seal. I feel this is a terrible bottom part. Like this is not ideal way of securing it to the base. There doesn't say in the instructions though to use any more double-sided tape. So And since I'm all out of double-sided tape, I think. Now we've got one more bit left, so we could use it for something. Now, I feel like this thing isn't going to work because there's too much space for air to get out, like on the side. So we are going to have to cheat and just use this stuff. This is insulation tape. It's not actually very sticky, so I don't know how useful it will be. And I just dropped it on the floor. I was going to say, almost couldn't find it because it's black. I'm back to wearing shorts at the moment. That's because my trousers got soaking wet because it was pouring with rain today. Which is like very weird because I'm wearing to wear trousers this time of year in Auckland, in New Zealand, because I live in the southern hemisphere and it's actually summer. It's actually technically the middle of summer. And I know that like in other places, like it's freezing cold or it's unseasonably warm in parts of Europe. But here it's supposed to be cold, warm, quite warm, and not very rainy. But it's actually not too cold, but it's a bit colder than usual. So I wore trousers today and yesterday. When normally there's no way I'd be doing that. I'd be wearing shorts all the time. So we're going to have to tape around here as well. And 3 layers of clothing, which is like, you know, in perspective, normally I'd be wearing 1 layer of clothing and that's it. So it's been the rubbish, but people keep saying, well, that's El Nino. So it's just all El Nino, and just stop going on about it. It's El Nino, and it will be finished soon, and then it'll be El Nino at some point, and that will make everything much worse. And it's going to be super dry, so just, you know, enjoy the soaking wet pouring rain in the middle of summer while you're cold, which is what today was. And so maybe I just should. Okay, and then take that one off and put that bit there. Like maybe the thing has to spin the other way. Maybe that's just, it just had to spin the other way. But of course, I think the good thing about this is that I can adjust this so that it goes down a bit lower. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should kind of, oh, I can see. I want it to be as like close as possible to the bottom, if you can't see it, to the bottom of the top part, so that as much air as possible is going up that tube. And then I'm going to realize that I got the battery wired up the wrong way, which is not my fault because it doesn't seem to tell you in the instructions which way around to do it. So that's a bit too close because it's rubbing against there. So I think that's probably the best. It's going to go like that anyhow. Okay, we'll try one more time, and this time we're going to put the ball in after the fan's going. I feel like it's sucking it. Yeah, it's sucking it. You fool! Alright. So now I'm going to have to go, oh, great. Because I just taped the whole thing in. So, worst day ever, but hopefully I can undo it. Gosh. Or not. Where's the end of it? Well, I just put the tape on it. It's got to be. Tonight I finished watching classic 1986 movie Night of the Creeps, which is a film I'd never heard of before. Somebody posted on a Reddit page a link, like a short clip from it, and then I went to look it up for some reason, and I'm going to keep it there. And it was on archive.org, so which maybe it's like one of those films that are on archive.org, and you're like, is this really meant to be here? Like, is this really public domain? Doesn't seem like it should be here, but it is. And so I downloaded it and watched it, and that's a true story. And it was amusing. I'm running out of time here. I've only got 4 minutes. How am I going to get this off? Oh, I did such a good job of getting it on. Gosh, this is trickier than I thought. Oh, wow. I suppose I should be thankful that it wasn't soldered on. So red goes on the left. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to cut it off, and then I'm going to cut it off very carefully at just the right spot. Alright, I'm going to cut that one off, and then I'm going to go get my tool really quickly because I just don't have the patience. Okay, hold on. I'm going to use my, well, look like my good ones, but are in fact cheapy ones from the $2 shop, but they were $3 to do this. So they may not work that well. Oh, I forgot what it was. Oh, rubbish. Okay, black goes on this side, right? So what I had before, right, I said right for red. So that was wrong. So right for left and black for the other one. Okay, and probably not. Okay, we have 3 minutes left. Well, there's not much to do once they put the wires back on. Okay, right for left. Okay, we can do this. We can do this. Well, I'm just gonna, oh my gosh. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, go this way. Oh, I feel like I got this the wrong way around. So maybe I won't do it too many times around. I'll just do it once around. Okay, and that one can go through. It was an interesting film. Oh my gosh, that the acting was a bit wooden, but it was and not a lot of it. It's like one of those things you probably remember because you watched it on TV once, but it's not the kind of film that's going to. Though it did have one interesting part in it. That there's kind of like zombies in it, but they're not really zombies. They're like, you know, alien slug things that infect your brains and keep you alive when you're dead. But it did have a bit where one of the zombie people were chopped up with a lawnmower, which made me think of Brain Dead, or I don't know what it's called in America. It's the Peter Jackson film where there's zombies in New Zealand, zombies from Rat Monkey Island or whatever. And does it work? Okay, and yeah, and that's famous for having a scene where a zombie is chopped up by a lawnmower. I've got 1 minute left. Oh my gosh. I'm going to run out of time. Oh, I had my back. Oh, I had the piece of plastic already. Oh, I had this. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, we're not going to be able to do this, am I? We're going to have a quick post-credit scene. So, and the wires are in the way. Oh, I did that bad. Did that super bad. Oh, you've got to be kidding. I don't think I'm going to have time to get this to work. We can do this. 20. Okay, I'm going to stop right now because I'm going to need a few seconds to talk this over. Okay, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Bye.